started talking a little bit about our classes that we have coming up.
Yeah.
And we've got Practical Pistol coming up on April 26th out here. And Practical...
Kicking off the year.
Yeah, we tend to start the year off with that one for a couple different reasons. One is this is a training journey. And starting out the year with this one is a great opportunity to bring those newer or those seasoned shooters that want to get better into a class and start the year off that way because it all starts with the basics. It starts with the fundamentals and it grows from there. What we teach you in Practical Pistol, those terms, those techniques and procedures that we teach there, those carry on through all the classes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the basics are everything.
Yeah.
You know, to start at and to finish at. I mean, the basics. I mean, get the gun going in the right direction, press the trigger correctly, and hit what you're aiming at, and that's the goal with anything we do out here. And Practical Pistol is a good way to kind of knock the rust off from over the winter time, getting people back in the groove and getting back on target.
Absolutely.
No pun intended, or pun intended, I guess.
Yeah, pun intended. It is one of the classes that often gets overlooked, and I think one of the biggest things that causes that is ego. And I don't need that. I already know how to
ego.
do that. Ego, absolutely.
Nobody has an ego. Come on.
But often overlooked. But everything we teach here starts with those fundamentals and basics. How we teach you to run your pistol in Practical Pistol carries over to every other class. We don't teach you this way. We don't use certain terms or phrases or different range terminology with that class than we do with running vehicles or structures, or even with our rapid response group. If you hear these range commands here, you're going to hear them all throughout your entire time.
And I think that's right. We're consistent throughout our training. You know, Practical Pistol all the way down to vehicle structures, wherever the case may be, you'll hear that same terminology that we use in Practical Pistol all throughout, because it just carries over. I mean, there's no magic bullet. There's nothing special about anything we do, all right? And just, so Practical Pistol, all terminology, we try to keep it all the same, because there's too much going on in a real situation to worry about too much. So what I want to say, keep it simple.
Yeah, consistency, right? And simplicity.
Simplicity.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a tough word, simplicity.
It is. But Practical Pistol, great class. We're starting the year off with that. And then we grow, we take your journey from there and kind of grow from there and through building blocks.
Building on it, right?
Yeah.
Keep building on it, yeah.
We have a tried and true way that we do this, and we try to schedule these classes to where you can work your way through, whether it is with pistol, whether it's carbine, whether it's vehicles, whether it's structures, whatever the case may be, so you can kind of grow and take these classes in a certain order of succession to be able to, you know, succeed. We want to see you succeed and excel at this.
Yeah. Nope, they're all good classes, like I said, and they're all up online now, right? We got them all up now?
Yeah, the classes are up. So continue to look at the website, eastgrouptraining.com, in order to see what we've got going. Also, check us out on Facebook, and going to be growing a little bit more on the Instagram platform this year as well. Moving on to May 10th, we've got EDC Train Like It's Real. I think this is this year 2 or 3 of this? Three. So year 3, one thing that we see here, and I'm certain that other instructors and training facilities see as well, is a lot of people want to come out to the range and they want to take training classes, and they want to do so with their range gun.
Right.
But when they go back to their vehicle, they go from that full frame SIG, that full frame Glock, and they immediately toss in a subcompact Glock, SIG, whatever the case may be. They go down to something that's single stack, maybe 6 or 7 rounds. And this class really... it really pushes the student to work with their everyday carry.
Right. It is. I mean, nobody wants to be embarrassed on the range. Nobody wants to look bad, you know. And carrying a little small compact gun, I mean, they're hard to shoot. Yeah. You know, for you, for me, for the students, and they're hard to shoot. So they bring their range gun, you know, 4-inch barrel, comfortable to shoot, you know, multiple rounds in it, and they do well. But they really don't have the correct experience when they go back and now have to defend themselves with their little compact range gun, you know. And the holster they got it from, or however they're carrying it, and to draw and get rounds on target, you know, from 7, 10 yards, whatever the case may be. And but that's what's going to matter the most when you need to use that weapon. So we found out that having the EDC class, everyday carry, puts people in that comfort zone where everybody is with their everyday carry gun. So if we're going to be embarrassed, we'll all be embarrassed, okay? But we'll work through it and work the kinks out, and now learn how to run that gun also, which will also make your range gun run a lot more smoothly. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with training with that range gun. You know, absolutely a great thing to do, especially those that are out there in competitive shooting or just that's the gun that they tend to favor just because they enjoy it. Let's be honest, we all have, certainly have a favorite firearm that you enjoy, and hey, you want to have that out, and that's what you train with a lot. But this class really, it puts people to the test. It puts your equipment to the test. You're running this class from concealment.
There's the key right there. From concealment.
Yes.
From concealment.
So immediately, it's a little bit more difficult than a lot of the other classes where you're outside the waistband and you've got that accessibility. Now you're faced with working with concealment garments, working with other obstructions like you were on the street. We put the students to the test. We have a wide variety of obstacles, of things that make them think, and mentally and physically push them throughout the day in various situations. It's not like most of our classes. It is not standing still. It's not working in one direction.
Right.
We'll talk about that more, but
Right, we're not standing there and shooting. It is all about thinking, because the situation on the street is going to be fluid. It's going to unfold differently. All depends on your situation. You're going to be moving from one position to the other. You're not going to be standing still. You're going to be seeking cover, hopefully. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So we don't want to get you just standing on the range, shooting at a paper target and not doing anything else, with no thinking involved. It's all about thinking. And all of our classes are based on that. Everything we do from the ground up, even from our practical pistol, we teach thinking, all right? Situational awareness. That's continuous, ongoing throughout all of our classes.
yeah, I looked through our class list here, and there's not a single class in here that talks about situational awareness, and that's because situational awareness is built into every single class that we teach here.
It's constant.
And that's from practical pistol all the way up through to rapid response. It's talking about that situational awareness. And if we can avoid this situation to begin with and avoid shooting whatsoever,
That's the key.
That is absolutely the key.
Avoidance is the key right there.
So great class, but that's May 10th, EDC Train Like It's Real. And then we go on right to pistol optics. The red dot, that's May 31st. Pistol optics, nothing new there. We've been instructing this class a couple times a year for the last 4 or 5. And a great class as we see optics have completely taken over the firearms market.
Oh, they have us pushed big time by the gun industry, is have an optic on your weapon system.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, small, subcompact, clear up to full size, whether you're shooting, this is your concealed carry gun, or whether this is something you're running USPSA. It's a great class. If you are new to the optics, it helps you find the dot faster and give you techniques that can help you accomplish that at home in practice, and to be able to help you find that with more consistency.
Sure. Yeah, well, a lot of people want to run the dot. A lot of people, especially people that aren't into firearms, think that's the cure-all for accuracy, and it's not the cure-all for accuracy. Basic marksmanship is basic marksmanship. You don't need a dot on the gun, all right? But they think it's a cure-all, but you have to know how to run that dot correctly, all right? And it starts with the basics, whether it's iron sight or dot. Running the gun correctly and presenting it correctly is the key, all right? And we just refine that with the dot, all right? Because the dot, there's no mistakes. Either it's on, you can see it through the optic on the target, or you can't, all right? So it's a little bit different in the instruction part of it, but once you get it down, you'll find out it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Basic fundamentals.
There's a lot of instructors out there teaching red dot all across the United States, and the honest truth is there's only, like we discussed with a lot of our classes, there's only so many ways to teach this, and there's instructors, facilities out there tossing fancy words and catchphrases out there, but it comes down to the basics and the fundamentals to make it come into view every single time. But it all comes down to the practice that you put in after the training. If you're not willing to, once you leave the class, continue to practice and work on those, especially with dry fire.
Dry fire practice is everything. It's like anything you do. Practicing, especially with the dry fire with the firearm over the winter months. Like we've been practicing in here over the winter when we can't go outside because it's too cold. It really gets you ready for the live fire training, and it gets you presenting the gun correctly, and it's awesome, and it's really important with the dot. Really important with the dot. So. Yeah, it's a great system, but it takes a lot of attention to get it right.